Welcome to the Unlocking Vaca Muerta webinar, where we are going to share supply chain opportunities for the oil and gas industry. As usual, we invite you to join the chamber, where we can provide you market access, new clients and segments, and driving productivity and operational efficiency through the adoption of global best practices, connecting you with more than 15,000 contacts through trade missions, business round, corporate events, and advanced hybrid training. We are in Houston, Dallas, Austin, Buenos Aires, Neuquén, Córdoba, and Santa Fe. As a follow-up of this webinar, we also invite you to participate in the energy trade mission to Neuquén in October as part of the Argentina Oil and Gas Expo. The Expo has about 20,000 visitors and more than 400 exhibitors. There, the idea is to connect you with all the global leaders and in the Argentina most dynamic energy hub. We prepare a specific agenda in order to be sure that operators, service companies, investors, the government officials, and other leaders can work together in order to promote new opportunities, foster partnerships, and accelerate the business in Vaca Muerta. This is a specific agenda. We are going to start on Sunday 18th with a welcome day. We are going to have a golf tournament and a sunset reception at the Rincón Club de Campo. Then the next day, we are going to have technical visits to Pan American Energy and Pampa Energy, two of the most important operators in Vaca Muerta. In addition to that, we are going to have a networking lunch in Bodegas Malma and a network cocktail in a rooftop in Neuquén. Then the next day, we have our signature event, that is the Energy Summit at the Domuchos Convention Center. There we are going to have a top officials and also top CEOs talking about energy finance, the U.S.-Argentina bilateral relations, oil and gas outlook, among other topics. And also we are going to hold there B2B business and an evening reception. The next day, we are going to do a technical visit to Tech Petrol. We are going to have an innovation summit in the Polo Tecnológico Neuquén, and we are going to close with a business dinner and Comahue Golf Club. And finally, we are closing with a technical visit to Phoenix and a presentation about real estate opportunities in the region. So I think that if you plan to do business in Vaca Muerta, this is the best option to have a soft landing there with a very customized, curate agenda to be sure that you take the most from this visit to the area. Having said that, let's move to the webinar. So today we are going to have an amazing lineup. Tim Tartley, President of Energy Workforce and Technology Council, Marcelo Anden, Trade and Investment Specialist, U.S. Embassy, Buenos Aires, Guillermo Grimoldi, Director of Corporate Services, Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce, Luis Lanzani, Supply Development Director, Tech Petrol, and Emiliano Schlohauer, Leader, Supply Chain Development and Management, Pan American Energy. So before going there, I would like to share with you a quick overview for Vaca Muerta that we consider that is the next growth vector for U.S. companies. And why? Because Vaca Muerta is the second largest unconventional shale play worldwide. We are expecting about 200 billion of investment in the next 10 years in order to create an export capacity of 28 MTPA of LNG and 1 million barrels of oil per day. When we are seeing currently the activity in Vaca Muerta, we are expecting a growth that is going to double this activity. And just to compare with Permian, today, Vaca Muerta represents about 10% of the Permian size regarding production and activity. 90% of the activity, the oil and gas activity in Argentina is driven by Vaca Muerta. Currently, the production is 600,000 barrels of oil per day and 4 billion cubic feet per day of gas. We have 14 operators. The number of operators has increased from last year. We have 4 new operators in Vaca Muerta. The CapEx pace, annual pace is about 12 billion. We have 40 rigs operating and 14 frac sets. When we are seeing about this number that is 200 billion, there is a special regime called RIGI, that is the Large Investment Incentive Regime, and we already have in Argentina 75 billions that are approved or under approved under this regime. And this is really important because all this expectation is being confirmed through all this compromise with the Argentine government. So the RIGI is the Large Investment Incentive Regime that, in few words, it provides fiscal stability and fiscal incentive through 30 years to anybody who wants to join the regime. And today we have 5 projects approved for $12 billion, and there are 12 additional projects that are under evaluation for a total of 60 billions. So this is confirming that people are investing in Argentina and they have long-range plans. So why to go to Argentina? If you want something to offer like technology, operational efficiency, innovation, capital, strategic partnership, or supply chain development, I am sure that you are going to be very welcome to Argentina, and all the operators and the supply chain is going to hear to you to understand how to do business and how to continue increasing the capacity and efficiency in the play. Having said that, remember, if you want to join the Energy Trade Mission, send an email to info@argentina-texas.org. If you want to become a member of a chamber that has a lot of benefit, just visit our webpage and you can join online. Having said that, let's move to the speakers. So, team, you are very welcome. Thank you for sharing and move forward.
Well, thank you, Ariel. Thank you for having me here today. And I really appreciate our longstanding partnership. Just give me 1 second while I pull up my slides. Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Tim Tarpley, President of Energy Workforce and Technology Council. For those of you who've been in the industry for quite a while, we're actually Legacy PISA. In 2001, the two trade associations, PISA, which represented energy service companies, merged and created Energy Workforce and Technology Council. We're the National Trade Association for Energy Services and Technology Companies. We represent about 220 companies. You can see some of the major leading companies there. We have the entire service sector. We have the well stimulation sector, as well as the well servicing sector. Most of energy manufacturers, and then also power is a growing segment of our membership. So they can see who makes up our membership here. We also have a Latin America chapter based out of Buenos Aires, which has been very active working with ATCC in the past on many of our endeavors. As you can see, these are the companies that are the most active in that Latin America chapter. Um, One of our long-standing goals has been to work with the Argentine government, work with the U.S. government, U.S. Department of Commerce to bring more oil field service companies into Argentina. Really, that's a twofold. We think there's opportunity for the companies. We think there's opportunity for our companies, the companies we represent. But we also think it's beneficial to Argentina and, quite frankly, beneficial to the world. As you know, we know energy expansion is the story of the day. The world needs more energy. Argentina, we think, is one of, if not, the uh, biggest opportunities in the world for growth and for production. So that's an opportunity for our companies, and it's an opportunity to produce more energy that the world needs. Some of the specifics where our companies are already engaged in the area is, certainly the need for digital frac fleets and the new pressure drilling technologies that can keep costs low and increase efficiencies. There's opportunity for companies to enter the market there that they're not already in the market. Super spec drilling rigs are also in short supply. With all of the additional expansions that are planned, we think there's great opportunity there. Certainly, energy companies that are involved in LNG infrastructure and export, there's opportunity there. The Rio Negro province opportunities are significant, and we hope to get additional investment in there. As I mentioned, we also represent the entire well servicing sector. And Vaca Muerta needs, as the market expands, it's going to need additional opportunities for well intervention, maintenance, and production optimization solutions and efficiency gains are going to be very beneficial to the region. We've seen tremendous efficiency gains in the U.S. market. We also think there's additional opportunities for oil field waste water management solutions. It's something we've worked to bring some into the market to deal with the wastewater issues. Really, the biggest opportunity we see is on energy security. Argentina is a long-term ally of the United States. It's stable. It's growing. The regulatory issues that maybe had existed in the past are improving, are really not there anymore to the most extent. We think that this is really an opportunity to grow. We want to get U.S. expertise, U.S. technology to help this region increase their production, do it more efficiently, and more cost effective. So that is what we're here to do. This is a project we've been working on for over 5 years with ATCC, and really looking forward to hearing questions at the end of the discussion. So thank you for the invitation to be here.
Okay, thank you, team. Let's continue moving forward with Marcelo. May, I want to also share that at the end of the presentation, we are going to have a session for QA, and I invite all of you to use the Zoom QA section to start to post your question there so we can review them and be ready for answering them at the end of the session. Go ahead, Marcelo, please.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, the Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce, for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone in the audience. I'm Marcelo Amden, a team member of the U.S. Commercial Service at the U.S. Embassy in Argentina. I am a commercial specialist managing some of the economy's critical industries, to include energy, mining, and investment. And I would like to give you all an overview, particularly the U.S. companies in the audience, of how we can help you expand internationally. Give me a second here. For some reason, my screen frozen now. Sorry about this, but my PowerPoint slide is not moving forward. Let's see what's happening. There we go. All right, so we have a global presence. Basically, we work in tandem with a network of domestic offices stateside that we call U.S. Export Assistance Centers. We have over 100 offices within the United States, and we have presence in over 70 countries worldwide. And we basically bridge the demand for product and services in global markets with the offer of U.S. products and services. And the way we do it is through a number of customized business solutions. Export counseling is one of them. We advance strategic business development based on commercial intelligence that we have on the ground in all of the markets that we have a presence in. And export counseling is something that we do in a number of ways through market intelligence. Basically, our export assistance centers that are our one-stop shop for market intelligence globally. We feed them with information that can help you become more aware of the opportunities in the markets that we operate in. We have customized market intelligence products, and we also have information products such as our country commercial guides developed for over 125 countries, and they're all accessible after registration at the International Trade Administration's website. We also have within the family of customized business solutions, we have a number of them that range from, single company promotion, where it's basically a seminar that we can put together and identify and invite qualified audience in a number of industries, government, public sector, academia, for U.S. clients to come down and deliver a presentation on the technologies that they would like to bring in the marketplace. We have international partner search, and also the Gold Key service, which is one of our flag products that facilitate market entry with identified and pre-screened potential partners or distributors or joint venture partners as well. We cover a number of trade events. We bring international buyer delegations from our respective markets to the United States. In my case, one of my premier shows is the Offshore Technology Conference in Houston every year. Argentina represents the Department of Commerce's third largest delegation after Saudi Arabia and Brazil. Typically, we bring anywhere between 80 and 100 business people from Argentina to OTC for B2B matchmaking appointments and other networking events. We also organize trade missions that could be vertical or horizontal for U.S. clients seeking market expansion overseas. And within the context of these trade missions, typically they are led by Department of Commerce senior officials. And we put together a number of activities while in country that include networking receptions hosted by the U.S. ambassador, B2B meetings, and also meetings as appropriate with government officials. Another very important tool that we have is commercial diplomacy. Through our advocacy center, we help U.S. companies compete and, to the extent that's possible, win international tenders in overseas markets. There is a formal procedure for U.S. companies to register and fill a questionnaire for the subject matter tender that they wish to pursue, and that facilitates U.S. government engagement at the highest levels. As a result of the aforementioned customized business solutions, the Department of Commerce has an economic impact of approximately $428 billion. We have facilitated export revenues in the $290 billion range. This is during 2025. We've also attracted inward investment for approximately $140 billion with significant year-on-year increases. And all this contributed to the job creation of approximately 1.3 million jobs in the United States. My contact information is on the screen. And for those of you who have questions at the end of the webinar, I'll be glad to respond. Over to you,
Thank you,
Ariel.
Marcelo.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the work that you are doing and the U.S. Embassy is doing for the bilateral relationship. Um, Something that I want to highlight is that the Energy Workforce and Technology Council and also the U.S. Embassy are partners in the energy mission to Vaca Muerta. So we are happy to collaborate with them, and they are going to make this even greater. Now let's go with Guillermo.
Hi, Ariel. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Guillermo Grimoldi. I'm located in Houston since 2011 when I moved with my family and founded T-Market USA. It's a company that basically imports and exports from and to Argentina for the oil and gas business. And since 2019, I joined the Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce, and I was working with the Energy and Engineering Committee for more than 2 years. And now, since last year, I'm working with the Corporate Services Committee. We're going to talk about logistics and supply chain. First of all, the good news, Argentina's import regime for the oil and gas industry has become significantly more business friendly since early 2024. We eliminated, or Argentina eliminated what was the CETA, which is it was an importing licensing system that was very, very strict and closed, and they adopted a more streamlined and customs process, and all the process are really faster. Second good news, Exim Bank has reopened the financing for Argentina, offering credit terms up to 7 years for the public and private sectors, supporting Vaca Muerta, lithium and infrastructure projects. Mining is something that is growing also, so it's covering also mining. But it's a good program that gives insurance for covering more than between 90 and 100% of the transaction value. Argentina was for the last, I would say, 4 to 5 years in a kind of a blacklist of the Exim Bank, where there's no way that a business could be financed or insured through Exim Bank, which is, in this time, it's a great news. So let's talk about some important key points. Typical taxes and duties between 0 and 14% for certain capital goods that may qualify for even reduced or zero duty. Import licenses, most of the oil and gas equipment is now imported under automatic licensing or with no licensing requirement. Before 2024, this was really a complication, and it was really something that stuck the business. There's a news in terms of temporary imports. All the equipment entering Argentina for drilling, completion, fracking services, they can qualify for temporary admission, allowing import without payment of duties, providing the equipment to be re-exported within the authorized period of 3 years. And also, there's a news in terms of used machinery. There is a elimination of the certificate of importation for used goods, named CIBU, and imports are now approved automatically with no state intervention required. Something about how to get into, or how gateways to Vaca Muerta. Basically, we can do this through the Atlantic or the Pacific. There are three major ports in the Atlantic area, and it all depends on what type of cargo you're trying to ship to Argentina and where are you departing from. We could be, I mean, used for this chart two examples from LA and from Houston. Talking about LA, it could be anything from the Pacific that's coming from China, Vietnam, or Asia in general. But lead times vary depending on booking availabilities and type of cargo. But the ranges are between, I would say, 26 and 29 days for transit time to Houston, from Houston to Buenos Aires. And if we have to add that, all the customers in and out every port, we're talking about 40, 45 days total transit time. If it's coming from LA to the Atlantic, we're talking about 45 to 50 if we go through the Panama Channel. If we go straight to the Pacific, there are more ports available. There is a list of ports and detail on timing, but obviously, if you're leaving from LA, timing is and transit time is a little bit shorter. And there is something that we need to consider, that we have to go through Chile to Argentina, which sometimes, depending on the weather, it could be, problems with the routes and snow and all that. But there are alternatives. We can reduce time, and there's always a way to get into Vaca Muerta. As you can see, there are 7 ports that could be used for that purpose. So that's very important. Challenges and best practices in terms of supply chain. First of all, understand process and procurement processes. Vendor registration sometimes may take several months. A supplier has to start the qualification process before pursuing commercial opportunities. That's why if we try to develop a local presence, most operators and service company prefer suppliers with local representation. That would be rapid response capabilities. This does not necessarily require opening a subsidiary for a company that it's in the US. In many cases, a local and strategic partner is the fastest and safest way to start doing business. Ensure logistic readiness. Prepare logistics and strategy depending on all the ports that I mentioned and the type of cargo. There is a huge demand nowadays on, I mean, this is very common for this industry, even here in the US, but zero inventory, and the operators and service companies, they want the supplier to carry all the inventory. That's why it's, I would say, not mandatory, but it's a must to have some local partner with a warehouse, with facilities who can be used for storing materials. Sometimes there is a way to do business in a kind of just in time, but we need to consider having local inventory. That's a must. And the other thing is always evaluate both ways, Atlantic and Pacific. Every time, I mean, it's something that, depending on the time of the year, depending on the cargo, and depending on several weather conditions, it's always a must to search, even for pricing, because depending on what's going on around the world, the pricing from the Atlantic could be lower than the Pacific, or vice versa. So that's something we have to be very, very careful and look at it. This is all from now. There's a lot of things that maybe you have questions. Feel free to request some information. You have my contact at the beginning of our presentation, or you can refer to my webpage. Thank you all, and I'm available for any questions. Ariel, the floor is
Thank you,
yours.
Guille. Excellent overview regarding supply chain logistics. And now let's move to Luis.
All right, thanks. How are you? My name is Luis Anciani, and Supply Director for Tech Petrol. I was invited to talk about the technical bottlenecks and procurement needs. So I'm gonna try to first give an overall view about our situation. Um, I'm gonna talk about in general of Vaca Muerta, not only about Tech Petrol. I'm gonna use Tech Petrol for run some examples. So this is a statement. Is the biggest challenge in Vaca Muerta is no longer the rock, it's the supply chain, and that's a fact. So we already have proven the rock, and now we are in a development of production in a large scale. And that's why we are running this meeting with you, because I believe it's important. So when we talk about how was our evolution in how we do things in Vaca Muerta, what changed? Is when we start with this in 2017, for example, we need 35 days of drilling time to run a lateral length of 1500 meters. Nowadays, we do 3,500 meters in between 18 and 20 days. It's been a great improvement. So this proved that we already run our knowledge curve in order to reach some level of saying, okay, we got serious and we are in a production uh, phase that we want to have the next evolution move on. So the question has changed from can Argentina can produce shade to can the supply chain keep up the growth? So and to talk about the growth, I'm gonna show you. This is Vaca Muerta in Neuquén. Most Vaca Muerta is in Neuquén. You have three phases: oil, wet gas, and dry gas. I'm talking about investment that has been I believe was Ariel at the beginning. He talked about how much $1 million are going to be invested in Vaca Muerta. If you look to Los Toldos dos Este, that is our uh, oil uh, site. It's a really tiny site. It's only 78 square kilometers, and we are investing more than $2 billion in that piece of land. So this kind of investment is because we have plans. This is what we expect to produce in Argentina to 2030, all crude and gas. And what I'm going to show you right now is this is okay. How are you going to reach that kind of production? Well, this is all the projects that are being projected and under construction right now to evacuate all the, for example, the oil production that it's being planned and it's being in development. So we are going to have the facilities to evacuate our production. It's all going on. It's and our objective, our goal right now is to increase our production and to increase our efficiency as much as that possible in order to be competitive to the world. So when we are talking about the needs, we can figure out like four big groups: infrastructure, industrial capacity, oilfield services, and transition. And when we're talking, because Vaca Muerta is not only the well site, it's all about around it. We it's something, it's bad and it's good at the same time, because we are lack of roads and we need pipelines, and we have power issues, and we need to improve logistics, and that's something that's not that good, but it's an opportunity for everyone here to come to Vaca Muerta and put their knowledge and business around it. The industrial capacity in Argentina is a developed industrial capacity, but it's not that developed in terms of amount of volume. So we are always interested in machinery, manufacturing, fabrication, and engineering relation. The same for the specialized equipment when we are talking about RSS, rotary tools, downholes, or measure well drilling tools. Those kind of technology that improves efficiency in our downhole activities is always in our objectives. And we also are working on energy transition and talking about how we are going to use gas in our fracking activities, how we can reduce emissions, how we can improve electrification in our sites, and always talking about efficiency. All right, how you can be part of Vaca Muerta? Well, the first thing is that we know that is we are different. We have different cultures. I went to Permanent Basin is kind of the operations we do almost the same, but we run business differently, and that's something that it's scary, but it shouldn't be a problem in order to develop some business here locally. So what I mean with this is not because it's different is bad, and if you because it's different you put barriers in order, for example, you expect to have a contract to bring equipment, maybe you're never gonna bring the equipment because we are running business like you do, and you don't do that in permanent. So you have to bet to come first out to Vaca Muerta. Um, um, I'm pretty sure that if you bring an equipment, it's going to be sell or rented. The other thing is in how much time you are expecting to recover the investment. Like, don't be afraid to put a long-term investment a window in order for not losing competitiveness, because only in Los Toldos we are investing $2 billion. So we are not expecting to recover it in 1 year. So we are going to run business for a while. And all the different things that have been said about Argentina, new framework, legal frameworks and programs and regimes. Well, I believe no matter what happened in the political aspect, Vaca Muerta is not going to change anything about its business setup. So I really think you should be involved in Vaca Muerta. It would not be useful. How is the best way to come to Vaca Muerta? Well, I believe with local partners or run joint ventures or running technology transfers, there are a lot of companies, local companies, national, also in Neuquén, that are really are pretty professional and can adopt equipment and technology and can be trained, and it's going to be useful for you to have a local partner. As other of the guys in the webinar said, it's pretty important for us because of our infrastructure, as I told before, to have spare parts and service next to the sites. Neuquén is far away from Buenos Aires, so our airport and the river and it's the sea. It's a long way. So being near the sites, being in Neuquén, being in Rio Negro, is really important for operations. So the best way of doing that is with local partners. Also to run the difference of culture and start knowing each other and having great business between us. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Excellent presentation. Now let's move to Emiliano. Just a kind reminder, we have a QA session in Zoom. Please use to write your questions, so at the end of the presentation we can answer them. Go ahead, Emiliano.
Okay, hear me? Thank you, Ariel. Here. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Thank you to the Chamber for the organization, the invitation. My name is Emiliano Schulhauer. I work for Pan American Energy in the supply chain area. I am going to give a quick overview about Pan American Energy, what we are doing in Vaca Muerta and the region, and which are the challenge opportunities in terms of supply chain. Pan American Energy is the largest private oil and gas company in Argentina. We are an integrated energy company with operations across upstream, midstream, downstream, power generation, and also energy transition. As you can see, Pan American Energy has a diversified portfolio. I would like to highlight some aspects. One of them is we produce in 3 countries, Argentina, Mexico, and Bolivia, and we produce almost 240,000 barrels equivalent per day. In the downstream, we have the most modern refinery in Argentina. We refine 95,000 barrels per day. We have more than 600 service stations in Argentina. And we are very committed to the transition energy. That's why we have 4 wind farms. And also we are in the early stage in the lithium business. Okay. Now, let's move to Vaca Muerta. As you know, Vaca Muerta is a world-class resource, but the resource alone doesn't create value, and infrastructure does. That's why is the title, The Infrastructure as a Driver of Opportunity. Pan American Energy is involved in 2 most important infrastructure projects. One of them is the Vaca Muerta Oleoducto Sur. Is the project, the oil export project. And the second is the Argentina FLNG, is the first phase, sorry, and consists of Southern Energy and San Matias pipeline. I'm going to explain something about that. Southern Energy is a company founded by partners with extensive experience in the industry. Pan American Energy is the main shareholder. We manage the project, and it will deploy 2 LNG liquefaction vessels in Argentina in the Rio Negro province. The first vessel will start producing LNG at the end of the next year, and the second will start in 2028. The total production will be 27 million cubic meter per day of gas, and the investment will be 50 billion in the whole project. So, San Matias pipeline is a complementary project. It's a dedicated gas pipeline to provide the gas for both vessels. This pipeline will started in 2028, and the investment will be $1,300 million. Okay, this is a really huge project of Argentina. It's the first time of Argentina will be export gas to the world. As mentioned, team before, also Ariel Bocio. This is a really huge project and really important for Argentina. And that's why I would like to show you the potential market of Argentina. This is the first phase of the Argentina FLNG. And the market, the possible market would be Brazil, Europe, Asia. Right now, Southern Energy signed an agreement with Germany for 8 years, and Southern Energy will give the 30% of the production, and that's why Southern Energy is having more conversation with several off-takers. And the main goal is to collaborate with its clients to accelerate the energy transition and to cover the high demand of gas. Okay. Okay, here, procurement and supply chain challenge. Everything I have shared with you will translate into increased production. We estimate the production increase in Vaca Muerta for primary energy will be more than 100% in gas, more than 40% in oil, and at least we will drill 200 wells. I am show you the average of investment in Vaca Muerta, and right now we are developing two new unconventional areas. One of them is in Rio Negro, and another one is in Golfo San Jorge. Okay, so production growth will create significant opportunity for the suppliers. That's why you are here in this session. On the right hand, you can see the key services and materials. It's some difficult to sum up the whole necessities or needs, sorry, or requirements, but this is the key services and materials. To increase the production, we will need drilling and completion services and equipment, as mentioned before, Luis. So the drilling equipment, and also Tim mentioned in your presentation, drilling equipment is very important because it's not only the equipment, but also it's the technology. We need technology to work more efficiently to save cost. And also in the same way is a message for the fracking equipment. So another point, really important point, is the mainstream infrastructure. So because you have to treat the gas and oil and water, and that's why the treatment plant is a really relevant project. Right now, we are looking for the suppliers for this kind of project. And also, you can see, so we will need more sand, more water, chemicals to improve the logistic and transportation, the infrastructure, and the lot of materials to cover the high demand. Okay, this is the last slide. In addition to what I mentioned before, we are looking for suppliers that operate efficiently in terms of cost and operations and take into account safety. That is really important for us. For foreign companies looking to do business in Vaca Muerta, a good strategy is to find a strategic partner. This is one way, obviously, it's not unique. But an example is the partnership between Pan American Energy and Continental. It is a good way to ensure the soft landing to Argentina. For that, we have a program to develop small and medium companies. And one key of this program is the internationalization program. Our goal is to help local suppliers expand into international markets and also to integrate the foreign companies into our value chains. This is a really strong program. So we can did a lot of joint ventures and agreement with our value chain and suppliers from abroad. This is really interesting, and invite you to put in contact with Pan American Energy and to understand better the benefits. And at the end of this presentation, I invite you also to come here to Argentina in October. It will take place the exhibition, the Argentina-AOG Patagonia in Neuquén. And also you can find support with the trade mission, which is organized by the ITCC. That is all. It's a quick overview, but that's what we need. And here I give you a QR code to leave your personal information. And the idea is to put in contact with you and to have some meetings or to understand what can you offer, etc. Thank you so much.
Hello. We can hear. Are you already there?
They're here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Guillermo, I can hear you. How about
Okay.
Ariel?
Something was disconnected. I'm going to start answering one question that is for me, if you don't mind. So
It's okay.
can you hear me? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question regarding the market rotation in terms of months. What I would like to say is about basically the inventory turnover, right, for imported oil and gas products in Vaca Muerta. It depends on the category and what type of product we're talking about. Sometimes it's very difficult to establish a fixed, but it's the range is between, I would say, 3 to 6 months, depending on what type of uh, product you're talking. And if it's for critical spare parts, may require inventory coverage very, very tight. And it depends on what machine or equipment is being used in that spare parts. Normally, what it's very common, a very common practice in this industry is to uh, either the operators or service company, they require inventory for 3 months in place, like in a consignment mode, and then they can, share some safety stock. But it depends on every product or every application, or if it's, I don't know, a product for drilling muds or equipment for like valves or fracking valves, which are really gigantic compared to an O-ring. So it depends on the category. It's very, very wide range. But the most common practice is to have local inventory for 3 months and then do the reversal, right? To see how would you do in order to keep that inventory in place. Next question. I think I have some question for Emiliano. Are you there?
I'm here. Which is the question?
You see the question about the sustainable in the pie context, or if you want, I can read it to you.
Sorry, but I can't see the question.
Question. What's the
Okay.
question?
It's what do we mean by sustainable in the pie context? Sustainable in the context
Here the question.
long-term commitment, or sustainable in the context of emissions management, safety, and risk management? If it's the later, how does PI perform, ensure their sustainable goals in their Vaca Muerta activities?
Sorry, I can, yeah. So there is a lot of actions. So sustainable is to be the concept. So first of all, we are working together with the local suppliers in order to help their growth. and that's why we understand the sustainable for the production for the community is important. The local company increasing in their business, and also we understand. So we need technology. We need so new suppliers to to provide not only technology but also ideas in order to grow, in order to scale the business. And that's why it's really important the foreign companies to join us. Um, and the sustainable in the line of the technical way. S- if we are talking about sustainable, we are we are working on the digitalization basin. So we reduce the the emissions and reduce the timeline, like showed Luis in the drilling time, and also to monitor our process. So we are gonna be more efficiently in this process in order to make decisions quickly and faster. I don't know if I answered the question. If
Yes, there is a question. It could be both for you, Luis, and Emiliano, and it's regarding the chemicals. How do you normally purchase the chemicals for drilling or additives? If it's a spot or a long-term contract, how do you normally manage this type of purchase order?
Uh, it is long-term contract, at least 2 years.
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
in our case, it's the same long-term contract. Yeah.
There's also another question for Tech Petrol. Has disclosed intention to build the LNG export plant in Bahia Blanca. There's someone who likes to know the current stage of this project.
I, it's on pause right now because we are focusing our Los Todos Este plan. We're in development mode. Um, um, as Emiliano said a few minutes ago, there are two large LNG projects. So when we start with that project, we were kind of the only one, with some others that were expecting to find a solution. The LNG project, it's also a way to resolve a problem, to keep on production oil and do something with gas, no? Because the local use of that gas is not enough for all the gas we are going to produce. But as I did their move and start with their LNG program and also YPF, then our project moved to another focus and is on pause because we are pretty sure that everyone's gonna put gas in order to have their projects working at the highest level possible.
Okay. And one more question. We're almost on time. For U.S. companies evaluating investments in Vaca Muerta, how important is the ability to quickly relocate technical personnel into Argentina, and how will the immigration timelines become a factor in project planning?
In my perspective,
Oh, somebody who can answer this, Marcelo maybe, or somebody who has experience in relocating or immigration timelines for projects planning.
Guillermo, I'm sorry, you didn't come through on this end. Could you please repeat the question?
Sorry, it's for U.S. companies evaluating investments in Vaca Muerta. How important is the ability to quickly relocate technical personnel into Argentina? And have you seen immigration timelines become a factor in project planning?
Okay, so the short answer is no. U.S. companies operating in Argentina with U.S. personnel um, go through the appropriate immigration processes, and the companies that we speak to have not reported any delays.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Okay, Guillermo, can you hear me?
yeah, okay, now we can hear you.
Okay. Well, let's close because we are on time. There are a lot of additional questions to answer. So, two or three key points. First of all, thank you very much for all the speakers. You have delivered an amazing presentation, a lot of information, a lot of insight, and also you show how open are all of you to collaborate with Argentine and international companies in order to continue increasing the capacity and efficiency in Vaca Muerta. So thank you very much. The second one is thank you all for attending the presentation. We are going to share this presentation plus all the additional details about the energy trade mission in a follow-up email. And from there, you can basically share with us any additional question or any additional initiative that you have. You are all very welcome to attend the mission and also to participate in the rest of the activity of the chambers. Having said that, have a wonderful day and thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye bye.